In this live coding session, we are going to tweak Xcode project settings so that they work well for fast test feedback, which is a requirement for test-driven development. There we go. Hey, everyone. Welcome. And wow, folks are already chatty. Hello, hello. Let me scroll back and see who's here. Oh, all right. Alice runs on Fedora. Now Marquis Kurt. Welcome, Mudshark. Hello, Keithrill. Just to set some expectations, it'll be some time before we get to actual Swift UI views. So don't expect to see anything today. We're still setting up the project. Hey, Hamzaig, Alfredo. Whoa, Paige. Welcome. Good to have Paige and BitInvent and Danielle. Daniel. Junaid, you are up late, my friend. Theo, Alwad, another first-time chatter, Haresh. Thank you, everyone, for chiming in. Good to see you. What fun. We've got a good crowd here. Let me say my usual introductory stuff. My name is John Reed. You all know this, but I'm saying this for the folks who are watching after the fact on YouTube once this goes live there. So my name is John Reed. I'm a coach for software teams and also a trainer. And if you aren't already familiar with quality coding, come check out my site. There's my book. And what else? What else is going on? It's good to see all of you here. Let's see. Any quick announcements? Yeah, I guess come check out industriallogic.com tomorrow. There will be a sale for some things, including, if we go to, let's see if I can find, you come to our e-learning. It's kind of buried, so let me show you what I've done in the e-learning if you haven't already seen it. This is all being reworked right now, but the website that is, yeah, at tip to page. There are a number of e-learning things in here, quite a few. And actually, let me say something about e-learning. Actually, about learning in general. You know how I learned all the stuff that I know? It wasn't by reading books on unit testing in Swift or unit testing in Objective-C or unit testing for iOS or anything like that. It was by reading the books and listening to the people and paying attention to the real giants who were talking about testing, refactoring, design, extreme programming. And they use for the, hey, Ignazi from Barcelona. Wow, awesome. And a subscriber at that. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. So everything I learned was from those people, and they certainly weren't operating in the Apple ecosystem. All I've done to become famous is take the stuff that I read and said, okay, how do I do this for, well, it wasn't iOS, it was Mac originally. How do I do this for Mac programming? And then iOS, excuse me. And you can do the same. So all these things you can learn about, there's only one of them that's available right now in public for Swift, and that's the microtesting album. But there's a ton of good stuff here. Ton of good stuff. But I will point out, hey, if you come to microtesting and look at that, a Swift version. And who's that John Reed person? So come check out this industriallogic.com tomorrow for Cyber Monday. And hey, season 1, episode 2. Oh, that's great. All right. I am your father. Whoa. Al. Thank you. Appreciate that. And Paige, you know I love you. I'm gonna see you one of these days. Maybe I'll get up to actually not Seattle, the Open Agile Northwest. That should be another thing I call out. Is let me just go look. Agile Open Northwest, folks. I don't know if I'll make it. I would love to get up there, but this is a conference. That's not a conference. It is amazing learning time. That's an open conference. I'll talk to you more about that another time, maybe. There we go. In Portlandia. Check it out, folks. All right. Last time I had trouble setting up the Miro discovery tree because, as it turns out, it was asking me, well, it didn't ask me anything. It just refused to set it up, and I couldn't figure it out. And it turns out that you need to set up in Miro a concept of a team. Hey, Daniel. You have to set up a team. And that's like, where do you want your whiteboards to be? Because you can set up different teams. And I thought, why am I, I'm not a team. I'm just me. But I needed to set up a team for me. Kind of funny that it didn't do that by default when I'm like, I'm on the template or prompt me. Once I did that and set up like a me space. Then I was able to easily create this using the discovery tree template. I recreated the board or the tree that we had last time. So this is the project. We're working on Git Inbox, a new iOS app. And you can see we are in, if you follow the orange stickies, you can see what's in progress according to the legend here. So we are working on project setup. We did git ignore. We set up the Xcode project just by doing new project, nothing else. And now it is time to improve the settings for TDD. These are just some notes I have. We'll pull these out of the way. One thing I want to mention is that what we are going to do today, tweaking Xcode for TDD, is based on, see if it lets me in, based on a course that Stephen Baker and I designed called Industrial iOS Development. And this is from the first session of this course, this workshop that I call it's a scavenger hunt for improving Xcode feedback. And I set up a number of things in here, but just so you know where it's coming from. Whoa! A gift! Holy moly, I've never seen this. I have no idea what's going on in the chat right now. Damn. I have no idea. I've never seen this. So thank you, Junaid, for kicking that off as a gift to your friend there. So let's get over to Xcode. And what I'm going to do is run tests. Actually, the first thing I'm going to do is it's probably going to say, I need a simulator. And I've gone through to try to be, I've been experimenting. I've been so eager to do this session with you all. But to sort of get back from my experiments and fooling around, I wiped everything out. So let's do a simulator. And what I want to do in this session, even though I have some ideas about how to improve the test feedback, I want mainly for you all to guide me, sort of a reverse mob programming. So first, let's set up a simulator. I don't know if you have any opinions on which one. Maybe we'll just go with the latest iPhone 15, not something crazy here, just a plain old 15. Let's make that. Okay, and we have to set that. All right, now I'm gonna run tests with Command U. But here's a thing that I ask the folks in the participants in the workshop to do, and that is set up a stopwatch. We don't want to rely on Xcode to tell us how long something took, because who knows when it starts the timer. So I'm going to go over, got a stopwatch up, and I'm going to hit Command U. There, and everything in here is default. Everything about this project is default. All right, let's go. Ready, set, go. And let's just see how long it takes. Okay, you can track the status up here. It's building, good. And now it's testing. Oh, that was actually a lot faster to pop open. Oh, wait, it's still just, it hasn't launched anything yet, right? It's starting up 2 simulators. Okay. What's it doing? It says it's testing. Let me bring up the... Yes, why 2 simulators? What is going on? And here's the console down here. It is set up to do parallel testing, apparently. Remember, this is out of the box. I haven't tweaked anything. And it says it's testing. And this is where I expect to see any test results fly by. Shall we go back to the simulator and see what's going on here? How's it going, folks? Isn't this a cool stream? So it's not building. There's a sequence of events. First, it builds the production code, and it builds the test code. It launches the simulator. Okay, so we're paying some first-time price. Oh, here it goes. Finally, there. It installs the app. It launches the app. And what's it doing? Yeah. I'm still keeping my finger over the stop button. There. All right. That was nearly 3 minutes of sitting around. Wow. Thank you, Yvonne, for the subscription. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. 3 minutes. That was pretty awful. Now, how much of that is due to one-time cost? Launching the app launching the simulator is obviously something that takes a little bit of time. It starts to, you are now designated as a suspicious user because, Yvonne, because you changed your name. So there's a lot going on now. Shall we run it again? See how bad is it now that everything is up, everything is built. Okay, 3 minutes. Let's go. I usually try to run it twice, but 3 minutes? It spent most of that time just sitting there. Let's see how this goes. Ready, set, go. And this is what my students do. I'm like, use your stopwatch. Oh, there. Now this time it's much faster. But sure was awful that first time. And you can see it is doing the UI tests. There. Okay. So that was around 50 seconds. So it's a lot better than 3 minutes, but still, ouch. Now, one thing about the 3 minute thing, I want to give a shout out to Dan Torres, who is here, for cluing me in to something. And that is, you know how I was sitting there going, it says it's testing, but it hadn't even installed the app yet. Oh, clone 3. What the heck? It launches a simulator. It then installs the app. It then launches the app. And it was sitting there for a long time without installing. And so let's go. Daniel Torres glued me into this thing, a tool called Yeet-D. This is a tool to work around a nasty Xcode 15 problem that it just sits there and sits there for the longest time. It's awful. So this is what I would recommend for until Apple fixes it. And what's ironic is that I'm on Xcode 15.0.1, which the release note said fixes slow first-time launch of tests. Evidently, not all the way. Either that or it's a lot better. So there are a bunch of simulator processes that just sit there and soak up the CPU. Doing what? Who knows? So this tool just kills them. It's a daemon that sits there. So let's get this in there, shall we? We go to releases and We have a choice. I'm just going to do the normal one because you not going to do push notifications yet. And if I do, I'll just sort of uninstall it and reinstall the other one. All right, let's get this in there. So yeet, come to my system. Sure. Yes. So here's what was added. Thank you, Michael Thomas, whoever you are, for this godsend. All right. So let's demonstrate this. It should be running now. So if I quit the simulator, so I just quit it, so it's not running at all, and get that going again. So we're starting from not quite fully clean, but mostly clean. Let me take another step. Let me blow away derived data. That's the caching system for Xcode. And let's go. Ready, set, command U, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's building again because I blew away the caches. Here it goes. Let's see how it does. Okay, it's firing up the silly clones. And come on, do a little faster. Don't make a liar out of me. Oh, I may have made a liar out of me. I don't think I need to activate the daemon. It should just be running. Let's double check. It says it kills a bunch of processes called poster. It's possible that I need to reboot. Yeah. And the poster processes are running, but it's not huge. All right. Well, okay, there it goes. All right. We don't need to watch the rest of it. You get the idea. So yeah, it is quite possible that I need to reboot for the daemon to take effect. Okay, stop. So that's one thing. Let's go to our discovery tree and sort of note down some things. Yeet D, I love the name. So I don't want to validate this by rebooting right now, because then it would be bye-bye. So I'll check this out later. I'm going to leave it in progress. But with that, let's get on to some other stuff. Here's the next thing. What shall I do? What are some things we can do to speed up test feedback? And let's just do them. Call them out. Let's have some fun here. Come on. There we go. Oh, what else can we do to improve the test feedback time? Remember, I haven't written a single test. This is out of the box, and folks normally leave their projects the way they are and just add to it. So I can go into most projects I come across and find these. What shall we do? Give me some ideas. Okay. One is disable the debugger. Awesome. That is something I didn't mention. It installs the app, it launches the app, and it attaches the debugger. So it takes time to do that. Delete all the canned tests. Here we go. Let's see. App delegate. Oh, I have to. UI test target. What else we got? Look into the test target and see what we can optimize. All right. You know, I'm just gonna mark this a funny color so that it reminds me to come back when I look at this and reboot and try out the Yeet. Host app. These are all good ideas. All right. So anything else? This is a good list. Once this thing is up and running, you notice it spent most of its time running the UI tests. Let's see if we go back to previous log. This one. I guess we can't easily see a breakdown of the time, but you've got a number of good suggestions here. I'm going to suggest that maybe, so we've got the UI tests. We want to get rid of these. They live here. They live in a target. We can blow that target away. They are also in the test plan. The test plan itself is not saved anywhere. Until we make modifications. I'm still getting used to the idea that there's a test plan. Looks like it's generated a coverage report too that's affecting performance somewhat, though maybe we want that, maybe. I'm going to note that down. Turn off coverage. Y'all rock with your good ideas here. So one thing we can do, and usually what I see in projects is they come in and they say, well, let's disable these. Oh, and it says, this is an auto-created test plan. You want to save this? Yes. And it suggests the project name. Oh, here we go. Let's get rid of parallel tests. Or see what it's like without. Everything's a good idea. All right, so it suggests the project name. I'm going to suggest that we name it by the tests we want to keep. Get inbox tests, because we're going to blow away the UI tests. So let's do that. So enabled this is usually how I see it, but it's still going to build this stuff. Well, we can try this right now and see how much better it is. Stopwatch, ready, go. All right, that's much faster. That was like around 5 seconds. So that's good, but it's still going to spend time building this stuff. So I'm going to say, let's remove this. And now, essentially, I'm working now. You can see by what's orange. Follow in a discovery tree, you follow down through the orange path, as it were, to see what's being active. And ideally, it's just one thing. Sometimes you end up with like, oh, we got to do a couple of things at the same time. But generally, we're working on one thing at a time. And this is a great tool. Thank you, Paige Watson, for helping to invent this, for being part of inventing this from Fast Agile. It is a tool for communication. It helps when we're working as a team, actually more than one programmer working, and we're not necessarily all coding at the same time. So I can see, oh, this is where we are. We're working on UI test target, or it should be like remove UI test target. So much faster. We got it out of there, and should be able to commit. That's Paige for you. Always doing the nice thing. Let's commit. All right. What did we just do? We just did the test plan. It's kind of an environment thing. It's also a test thing. So I'm looking at, is it in terms of Arlo's commit notation, is it an E or a T? It is definitely a nothing. Minus is sort of just a spacer in terms of risk. It's really nice. Discovery trees are awesome. If you want to learn about discovery trees, I don't know. Paige, I don't know if you can share a link to that. It may block you if I haven't given you express permission, though. Way better than tickets. Way, way, way better. But I got distracted. I'm trying to make a commit message here. I'm going to say this is an environment change. Make test plan disabling UI tests. That's pretty good. All right. And let's push this sucker. Habit, even though it's just me, if we were working on a team, lots of small commits. Lots of small commits. All right, so let's get rid of, yeah, oh, sorry, Paige. I'm going to have to give you permission later, not now. Next thing I want to remove is the target and the sources. So let's, because why keep it? UI tests, for the most part, are a waste. There are very few UI tests I've seen that I've considered worthy of keeping. Right, so we got rid of it there, and we're going to get rid of move to trash here, and that should still be wonderful and happy. Good. Let's see, this is also, I'm going to say, an environment change, or maybe it's a test only change. Remove UI test target and sources, like that. Well, page, I don't know. Hope you doesn't sting too bad, but if we come over to the blog and look for, oh, look at that, Paige Watson. Discovery tree. Ah, here is a good article. Yep. Bye, Steve. I got it. I got it. Why won't it let me chat? I can't chat? All right. Y'all can just, I don't know what's messed up with me. You can come to the Industrial Logic blog and click OK, I got it. Okay, I got it. Sheesh, was I not doing that? So bizarre. Thanks, people. Keeping me honest. So very good article by Steve Kuo, who made the Miro template that we are basing our thing on. All right. Oops. What else? We're going faster now, much faster. I'm going to say that is done. I am tempted to call done green. It's just a habit. Reaching over here for blue seems far away. You can do this. You can say, I was pressing the X. Oh my gosh. Let me change these. I'm going to change. You can do this as a team when you set up your tree and say, well, what colors do we want? And for Miro, just because yellow in progress, or to do in progress, and dark green are really close to each other. Hey Grant. That's unfortunate, Grant. Yeah. Anyway, I like having, I think I prefer this for the color for completed. So let's unlock. How do I unlock this puppy? Unlock. How do I ungroup? I'm showing off my Miro skills here, folks. Oh no. I'll come back to the legend and I'll fix it up. So for now, let's move on. What's the next thing? A tree should be green. I kind of like that. Let's see. More steps. What's next? Sakura. Nice. This still bugs me. How about this? This whole firing up, launching multiple simulators. We are spending multiple simulators running tests in parallel. Makes sense if the tests take so long that will save time. So for UI testing, it definitely makes sense because UI tests are so amazingly slow. Not so with micro tests, and we would like all of our unit tests to be micro tests if possible, as many of them as possible. And what do I mean by micro test? I mean a unit test that is fast, and also precise, and what's there's a third quality I usually try to think of when I'm thinking of what makes a good micro test. Fast and precise and something else. So why don't we get rid of this? Let's do this, get rid of this parallel nonsense. To do that, we need to come into the test plan, and you see execute in parallel, boom, boom, boom. And here it is in the options. This was not the default. Apple made these changes fairly recently, like starting around Xcode, I want to say 14 or so. That is like, you made this the default for everybody? It's just a bad idea. So turn it off. All right, let's see. Let's start from 0. Localizable. That's probably it, Dan. I want it. It needs it. A good micro test should tell you, as well as it can, where the problem lies. So, parallel is a bad idea because it takes more time to set up multiple simulators than you're always going to pay a price for that. And if the benefit of that is it cuts down on test ultimate test time, great. If not, it's not worth the time. So let's actually try it both ways. All right. Let me do one run here, and I'm going to let it run up. Okay, that's pretty fast. That's pretty fast here. But let's go. Ready, set, go. 4 seconds. Want to try that again? Ready, set, go. 5 seconds. All right. So now let's try it without. We'll see if it makes a difference. I am on a pretty fast machine. It's not an M2 or an M3. It is an M1, but it's beefed up. Here we go. There may be a price now that we are down to a single simulator. Let me quit the simulator to get rid of all these clones, and I'm going to run it once without timing it, just to see how much better it might be. And because I quit, it's got to relaunch. So why am I using a timer? Because I don't trust Xcode to tell me how long it took when it's doing a bunch of other stuff. At some point, it is good to look at its timing, and maybe we should do that. What is it doing? Oh, it's still the yeet thing. I need to reboot after this and get the yeet demon activated. See, this is awful. If people weren't already in the habit of running tests infrequently, well, this will certainly make it infrequent. Who wants to do that? But that should only be for first time. Okay, let's go again. Ready? We're going from 4 or 5 seconds down. Let's see what we get. About 4 seconds. Let me try that again. Okay, I'm getting less than 4 seconds. So, we're getting there. We're getting there. Let's commit this. And don't run tests in parallel. All right. That is done. There's more. There's more we can do. We're starting to, thankfully, it's getting faster now. It's way better than, what was it? 3 minutes, 4 minutes that first time. What's next? Got any votes here? Where shall we go next? Because I want it faster. Right now it's running, well, debugger. Thank you for checking that. Yeah, I'll definitely reboot and it should go better. The debugger is taking a load of time. So the app delegate is a good question. Because I created a SwiftUI project instead of creating a non-SwiftUI project and adding a SwiftUI to it, we don't have an app delegate, so to speak. But there's something we can do. Let's come back to this. I want to go with Mudshark's idea here. And let's disable that debugger. To do that, we come and edit the scheme and click this off right here. Debugger. Don't. Now, if you're on a team, because this is a shared scheme, oh, I've got a new thingy I can use. I should do that. Let's see. Is it not going to do it? Oh, I thought I had my highlighter. I'll play with that another time. So, when Xcode runs tests, and the strange thing is that when AppCode runs tests, it's always faster than Xcode, even after making all these changes. I'm going to shed a tear on every episode. Xcode installs the app, it launches the app, it injects the test code into the running app. It also attaches the debugger. So let's turn that off and let's see how this feels. Ooh, that's getting faster, faster. Let me try that again, this time with the stopwatch. Whoops, my twitchy fingers there. Let me try it again. Okay, 3 seconds. Less than 3 seconds. So I think it's still a benefit, definite benefit to not have the debugger, but don't do this to your team without having a discussion. What you might want to do is set up 2 schemes, one with the debugger and one without. Or if you can't come to a consensus as a team, go ahead and duplicate the scheme. Well, you would do that anyway to set up 2 schemes, but make one for yourself that's not shared, and just say, okay, fine, I'll work in a different thing, and the scheme you choose here. So, right, I only have the one scheme, so I think that's where things go. So let's get that in. Right, this is don't attach debugger to tests. Yeah, the famous Twitch streamer UI application delegate adapter. All right, let's keep going. And if we run over a little today, I'd like to see this through. We've had a number of discussions about the app delegate. Yeah. Let's see if I catch up here. So, how does it work in Swift UI? Because if you go to my blog and type in app delegate, then you get this article about like how to turn it off, which works fine if you're not using a pure out-of-the-box Swift UI project. Yeah, if you ever want the debugger back on, then you just go. I'm still remember my my Xcode shortcuts. So that is instead of going in here and going edit scheme, I'm doing Command Shift less than and Command Shift greater than to get to the test plan. What were we talking about? App delegate. Let's do that. I don't think it'll save time, but it is definitely something we want to avoid. When the app launches, I guess the other thing we could do is not have the app launch, but let me kind of show what that's about. Is it in here? How do we? Here we go. Configurations. I'm still learning this test plan stuff. Where's the host? What do you search in here? You can't search? The heck? I mean, they went to this trouble to put it on a different thing instead of keeping it in the scheme. Or is it in the target itself? It is in the target itself. But I thought there was a checkbox to do this. Let's try the options. That's not it. In the general tab. Oh, the general tab. Oh, here. There it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right. So this is where you specify for a test target, like do we, what's going to hold those tests? Where are they going to go, essentially? And we can say none. It doesn't work that great. And maybe I think we might get there later, because it works, that this kind of setup works better to have no host application. It works better when you're testing a framework or a library, not the app, so that you have your code broken out into components, large modules, and we don't have that yet. So for now, I think I would like to leave that alone. Later on, as we explore modules and how they talk together, and specifically if it makes sense to partition the app into parts that, like, so that not everything can get at everything else, it might make sense. So I'm going to I'm going to label it purple for punt. Say, kind of decided not to do that. App delegate is still something I'd like to do. All right, so we are at the 1 hour mark, but if you're okay hanging with me, well, we got a lot of folks. Hey, any first timers still floating around? Welcome. There are way more people than when we started. All right. The app delegate. So there is a lovely thing here. Let's try to finish. Let's do our best. And again, I don't think this will affect the time right now, the duration of tests, but it will become important if we, for almost every app, when you launch it, it starts stuff. It starts doing something, right? And you don't want that. We don't want it to spend any time doing what it normally does. And that's why I have my article about, like, how to get rid of the app delegate. What do we do when we don't have an app delegate? Then we employ this other trick. We create a test driver that, if we're running tests, we'll say, you know what, just fire off the do nothing test app, as opposed to the real app. So let's do this. Let's see if we can't do this. All right, so we're working on sort of app delegate, so to speak. Let me, to do this safely, let's see what this looks like when we run it. Hey, you know what? When we run it, I also don't want the debugger on. Why spend time attaching a debugger if you're not going to use it most of the time? For most extreme programmers, the debugger is something you reach for if you need it. If it's just easier to live without. And this is something that I know I'm speaking in fragments here. My brain is going. I wish there were a way to do what AppCode does. Second tier, to say, run things, whatever I want to do it without the debugger, which is the default, or do it with the debugger as, like, with a separate command. So I'm actually going to check this in. This is turn off debugger for runs. Normal run. All right, so if we run this thing, we'll see it's just hello world. So the reason I do that is to make sure I don't break it, because what we're about to do, we don't have tests for. Let us see if we can't do something like this. So I'm going to create a test driver, and this is annotated with @main to note, and it has a main function. So this is going to be, I don't know about test driver. I suppose you can attach it after the run. That seems like a bit of a pain. What I normally do is say, shoot, I do want the debugger, so I'm going to turn it on. I just go in, rather than figuring out how to attach it. But I suppose you can attach it after the fact. But yeah, why should I spend time waiting for things when I'm not going to use them? Okay, I'm getting distracted again. Oh yeah, I'm not sure about this name. It's more like main. This is like the main entry point. But let's bring in this structure here and create inside of here a new Swift file, and let's come up with a better name than test driver, because that's not what it is. It's really kind of main. Dispatcher, maybe. I'm gonna, I'm sorry, what I'm used to from Xcode is if I comment something out, it goes to the next line so that I can comment that out. So this is Git inbox app. Main? Really? I want to see if this runs. Okay, so wait, it's got @main. Oh, I have to delete that, right? Get rid of any comments. So maybe this will work. So if we have @main here, I got rid of it from here. So let's see if this still runs. It does. Okay. So this is what I'm did right there is we changed the main entry point. And I did a verification by hand. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just you automate what you can, right? And what you can't, you test manually and hopefully find ways to make that as fast as possible. All right, so we can call this main. It shouldn't matter what it's named. We can name it whatever we like. Dispatcher, main, entry point. Just scratching for names here. Main is not bad. Main selector. App main. I kind of like main in there. I kind of like app in there. Main is, it's a holdover from old C days. Main provider, maybe. Main selector. That's why you said selector. You are still suspicious. Main app delegate. You'll be suspicious until probably I have to like give you a specific blessing or something, or you, I don't know. Main app switcher, main, app main app, or just main. I don't know. Main app provider, master control. I love it. Ooh, hey, thank you. First time chatter. The Solo Rogue suggests a fantastic name. App selector. Well, I'm going to leave it like this for now. I'm going to sleep on it. Make it more enterprisey. So this is a refactoring that we did that is not test supported. So it is non-provable. It has to be done manually. So it's our first risky change. Change app entry point to main like that. All right, let's finish this off and then we'll call it a day. All right. So this is the other thing we want, is some sort of do nothing app. I can imagine that if there are certain things you need to set up to have your app, I don't know, like if you need to set up Swift data or core data, that you might want to do that in the test version as well, but have it be like, we're going to use an in-memory database, that it might have a little more fiddly setup. But usually what's being called the test app here will be empty. Oh, we can get rid of these comments. So test app. Now, domain entry. That's not bad. That might get me. So let's create a test app or something. Now, here's the thing. It has to live inside of the production code. It can't live in the test target because this is in main. It's got to be able to build, and that's unfortunate. Part of living with a strict typing, which let's not get started about strict typing. I like loose typing. Typing I love. As a hint, I don't like it tying my hands down. It could be test app. We'll call it that for start, for short. So this is going to be Swift UI. Get rid of this junk. I wish Xcode didn't do that. You can turn that off in app code. You can turn that off in app code. Third tier in a single session. Good idea for if-def wrapping. Let's do that in a second. So this will be a new view, yes? Can it just be empty? Let's see what that article says. Okay, so some scenes, so a window group with maybe nothing in it. How about that? All right, So if I bring this into play now, if I run, we should see hello world. If I, and we'll have to probably look real quick here. If I command U, we shouldn't see anything. Oh, it's a little too fast here. Let me, it looked empty, and that's what we want. The final suggestions were to pound if debug. I kind of like that. It gets a little messy, and that's what I don't like about it. I don't like it. Because then I have to do, you see, then I have to do this. And it's just harder to read and not worth it, in my opinion. I think I'd rather have it be that. Now, oh, for the test app itself? Maybe, oh, thank you, Grant. Good idea to like really confirm beyond like what it renders. How do you print inside of Swift UI? I don't think we can do this, can we? We can? Let's try it and see. Yeah. Let's do that silly trick. Whoop. Ugh. Wrap the whole if then in a debug, then add a not debug. All right, this is we're starting to get into fiddly bits, and I do want to wrap up. Do I have to put a? My gosh. Yeah, we're going down the rabbit hole. We are down the rabbit hole. And let's just get this in. I want this to be as simple as possible. So empty view. I'll try that. So this is, again, it's a refactoring that we are doing without tests. So I'm going to note this as, again, potentially risky. We're making production code changes and verifying them manually. So use, what is it? Don't launch regular app during testing. And that should do it. Let's call it done. There may be a couple things we'll come back to. Oh, delete the canned tests. Can we do this? No. We're down a rabbit hole, and I want to honor your time and mine. So we'll come back to this. There are some other things I do want to do next time. Let me just note that so that you know what's in my head. This is all part of project setup. Where's the CI and where's the CD? How are we going to have a build system, and how are we going to deploy this thing? If you can't deploy it, why are you even building it? I'll come back and I'll try the empty view stuff and try to figure out how to print from that. But this is sort of what's in my head as far as what's important. So we'll come back to that next week. All right. Thank you, folks. Thanks for joining. Thank you for those who have subscribed. Wow. Really appreciate that. Junaid, yeah, thanks for staying up late. Sorry this isn't any earlier for you. And let's see. Those of you who are watching after the fact on YouTube, you know what to do to train the algorithm. Give it a like, give it a follow or subscribe, ring the bell and all that stuff. All right. So thanks very much for joining today. Come back next week as we sort of put the bow on this test speed stuff and start to get into CI and CD. All right. Take care, people.